right, well, Jonathan mentioned CMS there at the end, and now you get a first-hand perspective on what's going on at CMS in terms of optimizing cloud. Coming to the stage next, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Patrick Newbold, CIO of CMS, and he will be speaking with Dave Merrill, Vice President of Federal Health at GDIT. Let's give them a warm welcome to the stage.
Well, they teed us up perfectly, right? We're here to talk about cloud and AI and all the fun things that you've been able to do at CMS at using the cloud. And maybe just, contextually, for those that may not be as familiar with it, maybe you can talk a little bit about, you've been in the driver's seat for this, and really accelerating adoption over the last, year plus,
Feel like dog years.
Yeah, right? But maybe you could contextually explain how, you've been using technologies like this to help accelerate and enable the mission.
Well, certainly the technology has made us better. About a month ago, I was at a basketball game. It was a Wizards game, and the Wizards was losing really bad. But I happened to start getting a conversation with a provider out of rural Ohio. Mm-hmm. And when I was talking to that provider, she shared a story of, she was very excited that she was able to ask a common coverage question. And she got the response back in minutes, seconds really. And she contrasted that with a previous time when it took days. Mm-hmm. So what we did over this past year is we implemented some technology. It was an AI that allows a provider to ask questions about coverage and get answers back. And traditionally that took days or weeks to get back. What's important about that is she's in the rural Ohio where providers are not just doing one job one day, they're doing wearing multiple hats. And so the times that she has to be able to get answers to those questions was at 12 midnight, she said. And so being able to get that response back at 12 midnight and not take away from the focus on the patient was an impact to her. Yeah. So that's an example of how technology has helped us make it better for our providers, beneficiaries, and ultimately the patients.
I mean, first off, what a welcome distraction from whatever the Wizards were not doing that night.
Yeah. But, down by 20.
But the real answer there is actually being able to have that provider spend more time with the patients that they're caring for and less time on burdensome activities there, which is good. How do you see the role of cloud having impacted the ability to enable technologies like AI in that space?
Well, look, in a very highly regulated, complex industry like healthcare, every year there's regulation changes, there's policy changes, there's statutory changes when it comes to that, and we have to be able to react to that at speed and scale. And we learned very early on that cloud was the best way to do that. Mm-hmm. So CMS has probably the largest user of cloud in all the federal civilian space at least. And we've been happy, I'm happy and proud that we are. One of the things I would highlight is that by being such a large user of the cloud, there's some things we have to take a look at, and that's cost. If you're not really paying attention to that, that can be a barrier to being able to deliver the mission. So we also, while being a large provider, we've implemented FinOps, so we can see usage in real time, we can readjust when needed, and that's been very important. The other piece that I would add is really about how we optimize our cloud. And one of the strategies that I implemented about 8 months ago was a hybrid multi-cloud strategy. Now, traditionally, CMS has been heavy AWS, which is great. AWS is our bread and butter, and they do a good job. But there was around 3 reasons why we wanted to do this. One, wanted to provide some resiliency. Yes. And if any of you all recall, back in December or so, some of our major cloud providers had some outages that impacted CMS. So we want to have some resiliency. The second is just want to have the ability to have the best cloud provider for our use case workload. We want to give options of what works best based off the workflow. We know that some of our high glass work, which is our system that pays out $1.7 trillion a year, and pays
small amount of money.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yep.
We know that those built on Oracle database, they're better suited for OCI. We know that other workloads are better for AWS, so we want to have a little bit of diversity in that. The other piece, quite frankly, I want to stimulate some competition.
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 Right.
And I would tell you that's already yielded some results in savings, as you know very well.
Yep.
But when cloud providers know that there's other folks that can provide some of their services, they're more supportive of providing some alternatives, some credits and costs.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a perfect segue to how the interagency activity that's occurred here over the last year has really helped this out. GSA launched a program, the OneGov program,
Yep.
and you demonstrated great leadership in saying we want CMS to be the leader with that and the first to market with it. Yeah. Can you talk just a little bit about?
Well, first I'll start with just a simple question. Like, would you rather 50 different agencies negotiate that all are federal government for the similar services, or would you like one on behalf of all federal government and take advantage of the economy of scale? To me, it was a no-brainer. We think we can get the best deal, we can get consistent deal across the federal agency. So when it was time to move one of our critical workloads to the cloud, this was the contact center. We were proud to be the first federal agency to take advantage and get savings in OneGov for cloud. And just recently, we're the first for AWS, and this recently we're the first now for OCI. And so I'm proud to help us move out on taking advantage of some of these deals.
Yeah, and that takes leadership, right? Like, it's not easy to be the first to adopt anything. Just to ask the question, how do you motivate your team? How do you get the culture where it needs to be out there in front, the tip of the spear, moving forward with some of these things that candidly hadn't been done before?
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice. Look, when you think about our user base, so we have 160 million Americans.
Yep.
Who are dependent on the services we provide. That's half of America, if you think about it. And think about those people. Usually, those people are in the most vulnerable and in need of services. So we have to take risks to get the type of cloud services that we can to make sure that our services are available 24/7. We can't take a break. So it's a little imperative there. And it's also personal, right? How many pay into Medicaid? Everyone. So at some point,
I've got 4 very important Medicare beneficiaries. They call me regularly to talk about the services. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know I'm one of them too.
Yep.
But when you also just take it personal. If you can't relate to the 160 million faces, well, think about yourself. Think about your family members.
Yep.
We want our services to be there. So to me, it's not necessarily a risk. It's just the change that we need to make.
Yeah, it is, and it's proven to be effective. I mean, I think that those savings through OneGov are going to help you enable other mission successes, which there are a lot. I'd like to pivot. You touched a little bit about AI and how that helped, your providers. As we think about smart government and the adoption of AI to be able to really make mission enablement, there's a lot that's happening here at CMS, and we heard about agentic AI and we've heard about LLMs. You guys have also been really leaning in to be able to deliver some success with AI. Anything you'd like to highlight?
Well, one, I think I kind of launched an initiative called CMS is just going to be AI native.
Yeah.
It's not about not using the AI. It's just a matter of using it in a way that's going to drive outcomes and using it responsibly. So we kind of coined a phrase that we want humans in the lead, not just humans in the loop. And what I mean by that is we, especially in charge of all our public health information, we have to set the context, the guide rails, the outcomes for AI, not the other way around. We don't want to be just in the loop of it working. We want to be in the lead. And I think that type of mindset is really driving us. The other piece is that's very important to us is like when it comes to AI, there's a lot of AI. I mean, I probably get pitched a dozen AI tools every day. But what I think is going to set you apart is when you're approaching us with the mindset of the total package. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by the total package is it's not just about the tool or the service, but are you helping us with the enablement, the adoption, the governance around using these tools? I argue if you don't train your workforce how to use a tool, it's just going to sit on the shelf. And so we need help with that. And so, my ask to the industry colleagues in here is bring the total package so that we can make sure that we're maximizing our return on investment when it comes to AI.
I love that. And Patrick, one of the things that we enjoy in this partnership that we feel like we've got with the agency is when we bring cloud providers, whether it's AWS or other cloud providers, to put on the boot camps and educational events, your team shows up. Like they come, they absorb, they learn how to use these tools. What would you say to other agencies that might be here about how you've led to be able to actually get your employees to participate and engage and learn?
Well, first I'll just say just a context for the audience here. About just under 7,000 users that are in our ecosystem at CMS, and 80% of those people use our AI tools every week.
That's amazing. 80% of your CMS user base are using it. Yeah.
But it wasn't easy. You have to be very intentional. A couple things that we do in partnership with you is we provide training and fun training and hands-on training, and we encourage the workforce to go. Just last week, we had our second Excite Day. What Excite Day is we get the workforce excited around a technology or AI tool that we supported. This past week was about Copilot, because we made an investment in Copilot to integrate with the 365. And we make it fun. And so we have giveaways, we have the challenges. We even had Dr. Oz stop by and do a talk. He's a showman, and to get the excitement in the event. So, and then let me tell you that the data matters. So, after when we lead up to this event, and after the event, I just got a report that the uptick went up. So people took things that they learned that they didn't know, they applied it, and we can see the users continue to strike. So it takes, again, that full push to kind of maximize and give the tools to the workforce and allow them to use it.
Yeah. And I think you're touching on something that's amazing about how we may have to reimagine what that ROI looks like as you start to see uptake and utilization. Well, look, I know we're going to run short on time here in just a minute, but you've been in the driver's seat here at CMS now for the last over a year, from CIO role. What's your vision as you're moving forward? What do you want to do next?
Well, it's funny you say that. You probably remember last month I took over your whole building on a strategy day.
It was a great day.
Yeah.
Great couple days, actually.
Yeah. I'll say there's a couple things we want to focus on. From a cybersecurity front, we really want to ensure that cybersecurity is baked in up front and not an afterthought. You pay $10 a day, or you're going to pay, $10,000 tomorrow. But we also want to shift in our cybersecurity from being proactive to be more proactive and preemptive versus reactive. And so investing in tools and processes to be able to do that. The second thing is really around driving more enterprise services. So at CMS, we are a federated agency. We spend about $3.6 billion in IT every year. And there's more opportunities to really drive the organization around more enterprise services. We had a lot of success last year with that. We saved $756 million by taking smart decisions on redundant capabilities and reducing them. So we want to continue that work, and we got the support to do that. The other things around data, interoperability, and AI. Mm-hmm. All those three things. The data has to be, we have a lot of data silos. We want to start to build a fabric or a mesh around that. And we want to be able to apply an AI level to learn a lot insights and all that. So that's one of our imperatives. And the last one, but I think is really the most important, is our workforce.
Yeah, the workforce.
Workforce.
Yes.
So we are fortunate to be able to invest in bringing more talent in-house, technical talent, who understands the nuts and bolts of engineering, cloud solutions, AI, And if you haven't checked the post, we're posting a lot of opportunities out there. I'm trying to get the best to apply.
Well, just don't take the GDIT talent.
Exactly what I was looking at. But we also are investing in a lot of reskilling and upskilling and having training programs to the talent that we have to get them up to speed. So workforce is going to be a big key to all of this working, and it's probably the most important piece.
Awesome, awesome. Well, first, thank you for the leadership. We love to hear about the human in the lead. Thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to partner to help deliver those. And thanks for sharing your success story here with this group today.
Thanks for having me.
All right.